Thanks, Feroz, and good to see Dr. Amit and all others as well in this forum. So the next 4 minutes, I'll just talk to you about the concomitant SLET following excisional biopsy of ocular surface squamous neoplasia. I do not have any financial disclosures to make, and adequate consent has been obtained for the use of photographs in this presentation. Now, these are two cases where we can see that the patient has diffuse ocular surface squamous neoplasia, and both the patients had undergone a prior medical treatment which failed, and they came to us for further management. And the first one is back in the days when we were doing excisional biopsy in most of the cases. And the second case is in the interferon era where we tried interferon, but it was just not working. And then we went ahead with surgery. Now, in both the cases, we can see that the first case has developed total LSCD and the second case, a partial LSCD, that is the limbal stem cell deficiency. Now, in these cases, if we do a secondary SLET, let us see what happened. You can see that there is recurrence of the limbal stem cell deficiency in both the cases, the first and the second. Now, if we look at the reason why this has occurred, one, because the surgery itself induces the limbal stem cell loss, and second, there could have been underlying already stem cell deficiency that was present even before surgery. So how do we treat this condition? The only solution is that we replace the limbal stem cells. And we saw that when we did it as a secondary procedure, it really didn't work. But whether it can work if we do a primary SLET is something that we set out to study. Now, whenever we do excisional biopsy in these cases, we remove the tumor with good margins, 4 millimeters on the conjunctival side, 2 millimeters on the corneal side. And in the bargain, when the lesion is present at the limbus, we also lose the limbal stem cells. Now, we definitely replace the conjunctival and the corneal surface with an AMG, but we do not do anything for the limbal stem cells. So we thought of replacing them with by doing primary SLET. The next question was, which are the cases that actually require this additional procedure? So for this, we did a retrospective study and studied the previous cases of which patients actually developed limbal stem cell deficiency after surgery. And we saw that when the lesions were small, they did well with surgery without SLET. But when the lesions were larger, involving loss of more than 6 clock hours of limbal stem cells, almost all of them developed some form of limbal stem cell deficiency, some which had a visually significant LSCD and some which did not affect the vision too much. So we thought of doing a primary SLET in these cases who would be undergoing surgery resulting in a loss of more than 6 clock hours of limbal stem cells after the surgery for OSSN. The technique is as follows, where the usual technique of removal of the lesion with 4 millimeters margin on the conjunctival side and 2 millimeters margin on the nasal side, do a double freeze thaw cryo to the margins, apply AMG, and we take the limbal stem cells either from the same eye or the opposite eye, depending upon the number of clock hours of loss of the limbal stem cells. Then this tissue is cut into small bits and it is placed over the amniotic membrane graft, and these are secured in place by putting glue over them, and then a bandage contact lens. Now, this is a picture 1 week post-op where we can see that the SLET particles are there over the amniotic membrane graft. And these are the OCT images of how the SLET particles behave. So this is day 1. This is day 5, where we can see that the epithelium has started growing. On day 8, where the epithelium has grown between the 2 SLET particles. And by 3 months, the SLET particles almost completely dissolve, resulting in a normal, clear, crystal clear cornea. Now, here are some examples where we use this technique, and we can see that they had excellent results without any signs of limbal stem cell deficiency. And we published our initial series as well in 2016. So based on this study, we conclude that primary SLET after excision of OSSN involving more than 6 clock hours of limbal stem cells being lost during the surgical procedure, if we replace them with primary SLET, it prevents or at least minimizes the signs of limbal stem cell deficiency. Thank you very much for your kind attention and the opportunity as well.
Thank you, Dr. Swati. Excellent results. So, I have just two questions for you, just as an open discussion. So, you said that the secondary SLET outcomes were bad. Do you have a case series to account to the outcome here?
Yeah, so we initially, when we wanted to publish this, the initial thought process was how about we do a direct head to head comparison between primary SLET versus the secondary SLET. But when we started doing that, we had cases of secondary SLET, of course. We had, I think, 4 cases were there, and all of them had failed. But the tumor size was not comparable, and also these patients who underwent secondary SLET had undergone many more procedures than, like, the primary SLET. So whether we can attribute the failure only to the secondary SLET or the prior treatments plus, like, they're going secondary SLET, that would be a difficult comparison. So because it was not a good comparable group, we did not do it as a direct comparative study at that time. But having said that, as I mentioned, we have a series of 4 cases where secondary SLED did not help. But of course, the confounding factor in them is that these patients are those who have undergone multiple other treatments as well before.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Swati. My second question for you. Most of the cases that I have seen there, they're quite large. So they might be associated with a scleral invasion, a deeper invasion in those cases. So after undergoing a primary SLET procedure in these patients, and we all follow up with a plaque brachytherapy for the surface if at all there is invasion, when do you plan that?
Yeah, so in these cases, at least 2 of them had scleral extension, because as you can see, the cases that we selected are very, very large, and almost all of them had scleral fixity. So it is almost near impossible to attain a clear base in all cases, as all of us who operate on OSSN know that very well. So the cases when they have base involvement, we did it at 6 weeks itself. And sometimes the SLET particles are still in place. They're not completely absorbed, because usually the complete absorption, it occurs by about, 8 weeks or beyond. So at 6 weeks, there are still trace of those SLET particles that were still there, but we still went ahead and did plaque radiotherapy, because taking care of the tumor is much more important. So we did at 6 weeks, and they did fine. One concern, of course, we had was how would the radiation affect, will it worsen LSCT, or will it have any influence on the SLET particles? But because it was a small series, we did not, probably it's we cannot conclusively say that it will not have effect, but we did not see any effect. Like, in spite of doing plaque radiotherapy, the SLET particles did well, and there was no LSCT in any of these cases.
Thank you so much, Swati. Thanks